Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. It felt like a eternity, right? Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a week since my last stream. It was a holiday week, so I spent some time with my wife and with some friends as well. So yeah, it was great. It really made me rest a bit, and it took me a bit out of out of the charts. It's always important to have a clear mind about what we do, but most of all, it is important to not get too much involved with the trading and with the charts, and make this a healthy profession, not something that we are always trying to search for something, or yeah, you know. So yeah, it was a nice holiday week. We are back to the charts, and yeah, let's get straight to it. You know, well, I was looking at the higher time frames, and we are now inside of somehow of a consolidation box here on the higher time frames. You can see this as well on the 4 minute and on the 4 hour. Here you have it. So we are literally inside a consolidation box, as you can see on the higher time frame. Um, so looking inside the 15 minutes, I can frame something like this. I would like to see, first of all, I would like to see previous week's low taken before any action to the upside. But yeah, it might not give us. What I'm seeing for today's action is something like this. So we accumulated during Asia, manipulated to the downside during London, event horizon supported somehow the manipulation, and then we go straight inside the accumulation area, and we are now eventually trying to expand and distribute higher, probably to Friday's high, or eventually until the top of the N walk. So this should be the main plan here. Looking for longs, as we are seeking for buy side liquidity as the Friday's high. But since I would like to see previous week's low first of all before any move to the upside, uh, we can eventually expect something like this as well. So I will keep that in mind and try not to engage with longs as soon as they happen, and try to confirm this leg to the upside, and eventually engage with something bullish. We have to take in mind that we are also in a no news Monday. So a no news Monday can eventually dictate some boring price action and some low probability price action. So try not to force anything as well, because we can eventually be inside of a, I don't know, in a consolidation, and not try to get out of it soon. So at this point, looking at the 1 minute and zooming in, we can see that the 1 minute is just accumulating once again. So this might be the accumulation box. And right at 9:30, we shall expect something, or a move higher or a move lower. That would be the manipulation. If price would go to the upside, that would probably be the manipulation to the upside, and then we would wait for something lower. Um, the vice versa version can eventually happen, and this is the one that makes me more sense we can manipulate lower, eventually taking out the prior 730 low. Eventually try to go for the midnight open and then distribute higher. That can eventually happen as well. So we have to keep those options and those plans in mind. And yeah, and see if we can frame anything inside these type of conditions that the market is offering us right now. So yeah, I will wait a bit more. I will wait for 950 as well, probably 950 to 1010, which is the macro, the first macro of the New York AM session. So 950 macro, and I need to mark the 930 open as well. So we are just waiting for it. It's not there yet, but yeah. Let's see, prices rallying to the upside on a pre-open, which concerns me a bit. It can be the manipulation to the upside here and eventually drag us lower until midnight open, or eventually until event horizon. Honestly, would like to see something like this, not this type of action. Would like to see something like this in order to be in order to um yeah, I would like to see, I'm sorry, I would like to see something like this, a manipulation lower in order to be framed with my bias, but yeah, it might not happen. And we might end up getting lower because yeah, I told you as well that I would like to see previous week's low first, before any move to the upside. That would be interesting to see the market taking first the sell side and only then the buy side liquidity. But yeah, let's see. So right now, this for me is some type of a Judas swing to the upside. Um, Even if the price continues going higher, I don't know if I will have the chance to interact with it, because at this point there's no sell side liquidity taken, not a major one at least. The only thing that's taken here is the 8 a.m. low. Yeah, we formed some type of an SMT with within Q here. So this is an SMT here. So yeah, let's wait to see how it develops from here. Yeah, the volatility is not that big. We have to keep in mind that tomorrow we will have CPI as well. So CPI is always a major news driver event, and it can mess with the market conditions. So keep that in mind as well. But so far, prices digging to the upside here. Not much we can do. I mean, I'm just waiting for the open. So even if there was some type of a setup, I would not take it, because my rules say that I should always wait for the open. And even with the open, I should eventually wait for 950 to 1010 macro, especially on days where there is no news driver. So yeah, that's what I'm about to do. I will just wait and see how price will develop as soon as we march inside the New York AM session. Yeah, but so far all we have is some type of an accumulation here. Now we need to confirm if this is really a Judas swing to the upside before 9:30, and if so, this would be the manipulation here. Manipulation, and we should eventually look for shorts below or even above 8:30 or 9:30. So this would be some type of a plan here. Because at this point everybody is making money since London opened. So this can eventually trigger some more buyers here. They will think that okay, we will just invert this N walk, we will take the N walk at its fullest and eventually seek for the next one. This should give us more buyers in. So if price really displaces down right at the open and tries to stay above below 8:30 or 9:30, then I guess the bearish bias to previous week's low would be almost guaranteed here. On the other hand, like I told you at on the first minutes of the stream, I can see a consolidation here or accumulation, a manipulation to the downside here, and eventually price distributing higher towards Friday's high and event horizon. But for this to happen, I really need to see price hold somewhere above this end walk. So at this point, we have 9:30 open, which is right here at the top of that end walk. I will take out the manipulation because I'm not sure if this is just a manipulation or not. I have to still figure it out. So 9:30 open, 8:30 open, and midnight open. Here we have all the major three opens. And now I would like to see if price really maintains this push to the upside. I'll try to find some last legs to the downside here just to project price and see where it is now. Yeah, at this point, let me just check this one. Yeah, if I would take all this, -4 standard deviation would stand for the next event horizon, so it kind of makes sense on a smaller time frame. Yeah, this move to the upside should be done by now, but let's wait. At this point, let me check the regular trading hours. Yeah, there's not much of a gap here. We have just this gap, but not much. So at this point, I can say that NQ might be the not the heaviest, the strongest at this point. It seems like it. I'm still waiting for the first presented fair value gap as well. So price keeps pushing a little bit higher, but it stopped right at the top of the end walk, which can be a signal that price is holding itself back and it might not have the strength to continue. Looking at NQ, it's leaving some big wicks behind as well. On the 15-minute, it's more visible. And at this point, price stopped right at 9:30 open. It will give us the first presented fair value gap as well. So let's see if this first presented fair value gap just holds here. There we go. So far what I'm seeing here is some type of a accumulation here prior to the open. This can eventually be the manipulation leg. And if price really comes back or below 830, we can eventually expect something lower and the distribution probably back down to previous week's low. But yeah, price really needs to stay heavy just for that to happen. So I will readjust this fair value gap here. Yeah, it seems like price wants to make another run to the upside here. Yeah, ES is leaving a nice wick to the downside here. Yeah, it seems like we are still decide about what price really wants to do, if it wants to keep grinding higher or if we start to move a little bit lower. Yeah, so far 9:30 is it's just bringing us the some more accumulation here. Not much that we can do. Seems like um, NQ is moving a little bit lower here. Seems like it wants to um, it wants to trade below the first presented fair value gap. So let's see if ES wants to do the exact same thing. Price is trying to hold here. I would like to see something trading above, coming back down, and eventually keep grinding higher. But for that to happen, we will have to give it a little bit more time. Seems like NQ is a bit weaker, I would say, because it's trading below the first presented fair value gap. It's making a new low as well. So things seems like things are more heavier than we can eventually expect. Yeah, it seems like price really wants to lose the first presented fair value gap here. Let's see if it can assume that bearishness or not. Yeah, NQ is way heavier. It's already somewhere down here. Meanwhile, ES is reaching for 8:30 open. NQ already took 8:30 open, so now let's see if this bearishness will maintain or not. NQ seems like it's way heavier than ES right now. Yeah, Event Horizon should not Event Horizon, but previous week's low should be a good target for the bearishness here. Let's see if we can have some type of entry here. Price is really heavy right now, so we better might wait for something. Yeah, at this point, I'm just waiting for something to be formed. Yeah, let's see if price really comes a little bit higher. Yeah, it's moving a little bit higher. I will wait a bit more here. It reached for equilibrium here on ES, so NQ was able to take a lot of sell side liquidity out. It formed some type of an SMT with ES, and now I'm liking how price is really reacting here. It came back to the first presented fair value gap here. It's like a V shape as well. So all of this was kind of inverted. Now let's see if price really wants to form something here just to give us a move to the upside. Yeah, ES is really pushing. We are entering the 950 macro as well, so the timing can be better. If it wants to really reach higher, this should give us the entry that we are looking for. But the only thing that's holding me right now it's how NQ is behaving. It's kind of heavy. It just managed to invert this one here, not the first presented one. So at this point, if we were able to take something, any type of entry, I would like to see price come down a little bit, probably hold here on the first presented fair value gap, and I would like to see this staying open. But it can happen that price will just go higher and higher because at this point I feel like ES is doing a double effort, which is moving itself to the upside and dragging NQ as well to the upside. At this point, we have a breaker here as well. So this is eventually our bullish breaker. And at this point, I would not mind to see price come down a little bit just to move itself higher. Yeah, the 15-minute chart is not looking good, honestly. I don't like how the 15-minute chart is looking with these especially on yes, with these three big engulfing candles. So on ES, we already took the high here. The NQ is still behind. So ES coming back down here a bit. I would like to see it coming down a little bit more, especially inside the breaker and seeing the breaker and the first presented fair value gap hold. That would probably trigger my long position. But as I told you, I'm not liking how the 15-minute candles are are being drawn right now, honestly. So the breaker already tested to the fullest. The first presented fair value gap as well. See, I would like to see it stay almost intact. Yeah, at this point, we have ES taking out this high while NQ is still down here somewhere. So far, it seems like a nice reaction. We managed to close outside of the breaker. But watch um, how we are rejecting 930 open. Was not able to close above it. Starting to retrace here inside of a macro. This can eventually be not a simple retrace. Let me just check OT levels here. So OT levels are inside the inverted fair value gap. So in normal conditions, something like this should happen. But since we are inside of a 15-minute ugly chart, we can go all the way down, taking out these relative equal lows that we left here. Yeah, because this is the opening and the close of two 15-minute candles, so price can eventually come down to take those. Yeah, so far, nothing that entices me for something. Price is still trying to get below the breaker. Yeah, I kind of lost interest in this run after ES making this direct run from almost sell side to buy side. If price had stalled here a bit, like in the middle of the range, trying to retest and then gain some more fuel to the upside, but yeah, it kind of okay. I will take out this buy side liquidity here, and whenever price does something like this directly from internal liquidity to external without any type of break, yeah, it always makes me wonder what price wants to do next, and especially since um, NQ was not able to follow ES steps. So price eventually may react here. This is what I would like to see happening. Price starting to react there. But if you look at NQ, it has some more room to the downside. So as I told you guys in the first minutes of the stream, this is a no news Monday, so we can eventually expect some type of weird price action, low probability price action. And so far, that's what's happening, honestly. Because we had the open at 9:30. Yeah, price stayed here for about 10 minutes. It gave us a large down close candle, and then three large up close candles, and yeah, it's just doing its own thing right now. So this might be pre CPI or eventually no news, Monday new news price action type. So now for the bullish narrative to be fulfilled, I would like to see price eventually coming a bit lower here until 62, but then invert some type of bearish PD arrays and start to climb higher. If if it does not work here with the OT levels, we will probably um, move lower since I can see no bullish reaction so far. Yeah, so price really trying to move a little bit lower, still respecting OT levels and still respecting the inverted fair value gap here. My preferred inversion type of price action is when you have some type of a, imagine that this candle will close somewhere here, forming some type of a bearish fair value gap. Uh, if the next if the next if the next one just closes with displacement to the upside, inverting automatically this bearish PD array, eventually retesting it a little bit lower, getting rejected and move higher. This is usually the my type of inversion. When the last bearish candle just forms some type of a PD array, just like a fair value gap, and it's right away inverted. Those are the best inversions that I can eventually find whenever we are playing inside of a OT level, an important OT level. So far, this is nothing. This means nothing to me. Price can eventually move like this. So yeah, this so far means nothing as a bullish reaction. So we have to wait. Well, so far, 62% just held here, as you can see, um, right next to the midpoint of that inverted fair value gap. But still no bullish reaction here. We are not able to close above this one just to give us a change in the state of character. So once again, price is now trapped inside of 2 PD arrays, which is this inverted fair value gap, which is making pressure to price to come up. And these two, I can take out this one and this one, which is an important level, and is now holding price to the downside. So price is now trapped inside of these two PD arrays. But I'm liking how NQ is moving on the higher time frames. But I really would like to see something displacing above the first presented fair value gap eventually, or some better reaction to maintain my bullish bias. Otherwise, if price really loses this fair value gap here, and we might move lower eventually to midnight open, event horizon. We have a lot of targets, and ultimately probably previous week's low. But this, if we lose 8:30 open, as you can see here, 8:30 open is really holding the game right now for yes, and it's kind of trapped inside the 9:30 and 8:30 opens. So far, nothing clear. Yeah, nice reaction here. Price is trying to stay above the first presented fair value gap. NQ really looking a little bit better than ES on the higher time frames, but I'm still not convinced. I believe that we will range here for some more time. Right now, in order to believe in what the market wants to do, I would like to see price play above 9:30 open or eventually below 8:30 open. So if price is really inside these two opens, it can eventually do some ugly price action, and I would not like to participate in something like that. So the 950 macro so far did not give us anything special here. It can eventually mark this V shape or U shape inversion here, or retrace and move price higher in between 950 to 1050. And if we will look at this if we look at this 1 hour after it happened, we will probably have some type of a U shape or V shape drawn here. But for that to happen, I would like to see price really coming above the first presented fair value gap and above 930 open, not being here trapped inside these PD arrays, these two, and eventually trapped inside the range in between 930 and 830 as well. Yeah, so far NQ is looking a little bit better, but I'm curious to see what will happen as soon as NQ hits this high here, because it already hit, but this one was not hit by NQ. So I'm kind of curious to see what happens as soon as we take out this high here on NQ, because to me NQ is building a lot of liquidity here on the sell side points, on the sell side. So let's just wait a little bit more. We have 1 hour more for the next macro. So the next macro will be 1050 to 1110. So 1050 to 1110. Yeah, but so far, if we were looking for something bullish, we could eventually frame something like this. But as you can see, you would have to have your stop loss a little bit too wide for my taste, honestly. And that really does not entice me at all, because I'm not sure if Friday's eye will be hit or not, right? So I would have to take some partials, and starting with a 3R, it's not that good. So see, price reacted to the first presented fair value gap, came a little bit down once again. So far, bearishness is being respected. Now let's see if we can manage to trade and maintain our price action below 830. See, once again, price stopped right at 830, as you can see here. See, was not able to close below 830 and immediately reacted. So this is another sign that we shall wait for price to just decide itself if it wants to trade above 930 or eventually above 830. So far, this is a nice reaction from price. It made some some lower SMTs on the 1 minute. So this was some kind of a nice displacement. This is the SMT that I'm talking about. It seems like we will have another breaker here if price is able to close above it, above the high here. This green candle shall be the breaker since we took out this low here. But now let's see if price reaches 930 and this place is lower once again. If so, these are not the best trading conditions. Yeah, but so far liking how ES is moving here. We still have these relative equal highs on the upside. No, it came from one edge of the range, of the opening range, to another one in a one-sided move here. So it came from 8:30 p.m. 8:30 open to 9:30 open in a one-sided move. Whenever this happens, I'm extra cautious. So the breaker has been formed. Now, what I would like to see before taking out this high here, this price retracing down a little bit. Probably will attack this high as soon as possible. Yeah, it's attacking it already. So let's see if price will retrace here a little bit. And Q still has some highs to be taken as well. just take out this one. Yeah, maybe like this, just to see. Yeah, this could be eventually acceptable. Seems like 9:30 open wants to hold price here. Yeah, there we go. And it's not giving us the opportunity to get in here. Yeah, I saw that price was taking too much time here, and it will probably now uh, continue its move to the upside without giving us the opportunity to interact here right at the first presented fair value gap or eventually next to the breaker. So the intention was good, the reading was good as well, but yeah, price was not shown to give us the opportunity to interact. Yeah, at this point, I will just remove the order. Makes no sense. Yeah, seems like we will just run here. It's kind of unfortunate here not being able to interact with price since it didn't give us the opportunity here just to take this retrace back to the first presented fair value gap or eventually this breaker. Notice how the breaker was never attached, no retrace into the breaker. Price is just climbing higher. Let me just check here. I would have to. Yeah, my stop would have to be below this first presented fair value gap, I guess. So I'm not feeling that good, honestly, for trying to buy here. Seems like too risky. So far, inverting the bullish fair value gap, retesting the order block, and now let's see if we have that retrace here back down or if it just wants to plummet lower. So far, 930 is holding. Yeah, but this one outside of the end walk was kind of inverted. So I don't like how these types of moves usually happen whenever you are inverting some higher time frame PD array, and on the lower time frames, minor bullish PD arrays are trying to are getting um, somehow inverted. So it makes me always be somehow suspicious about what the real intentions are. So now let's see if these OTH levels will eventually hold, or if price just made this high, this new high, just to take out the buy side liquidity, and now we are primed to move lower since NQ already took the high as well. There we go. So I guess this was the Judas swing, the real Judas swing, and now we are heading down. But yeah, it's not enticing, honestly. It's just a zigzag here. If this is the manipulation here, let's just see where it wants to go. Yeah, midnight open probably. Taking out all this liquidity. We have -2 standard deviation here as well. So this can eventually be a move higher as well, but with deep retrace until the last levels of OTE. So it will always make a new high, but retrace near the previous low. So not liking this price action, honestly. We are once again trapped inside 930 and 830. And this to me seems like we are now prone to move a little bit lower, because in fact there's not much more to do here on the upside. We still have buy side liquidity as Friday's high, but I mean this price action is trouble. Let me just go to a 2 minute just to see how things are developing on the 3 minute. Yeah, we could not confirm the breaker, the bearish one on the 3 minutes. I would like to see some closure below. Same on the 2 minute here. So yeah, we'll not try to chase price. This entry here is really a chasing price entry. Whenever we get outside of a higher time frame point of interest with fair value gaps, you have always to be with your eyes very open and to see if it will not be inverted and not start some lower reaction. Yeah, seems like prices once again in between 930 and 830, but at this time I can see price coming down a little bit more because it really NQ and ES already took buy side liquidity as the highs formed right at 930 and prior and not prior but after 930. So yeah, let's just see. Let's see how it behaves as soon as we hit 830 open. Since it's bouncing every time it it touches it, so I would not like to enter in a short position and be the victim of somehow of a bounce here. We'll take this breaker out here. Makes no sense to be in here. So first presented for value gap. Another And just another tip for you guys: whenever you see a a session where the first presented fair value gap is just broken to the upside, broken to the downside, suppressed to the upside and to the downside. Yeah, sometimes or the majority of times it is a signal that you are in front of a low probability session, and that price action might move in a low probability condition. So any type of framework that you or setup that you can eventually imagine on in your head, it is just a low probability situation. It's not a high probability market, because at this point you can frame both scenarios. You can frame a bearish scenario and a bullish scenario. And so far, price is not giving us any of those scenarios. It's just manipulating players on both sides. So keep that always in mind, guys. Whenever you have a penetrated first presented fair value gap like this one is, it's just like it's not here. It's price is acting like it's like the first presented fair value gap does not exist, but it exists. And whenever you have it being treated that way, yeah, you should at least take your hand out of the trigger, not to engage with the market inappropriately. See, another reaction to the upside. This reminds me of the old um, soccer team, the Barcelona, the old Barcelona, where they had a tactic which was called the tiki taka, where price just and the ball just goes from left to right, right to the left, back to the front to the back, just to deceive the other team. And it reminds me of it, honestly. It kind of reminds me of that tiki taka strategy that they played for years and years. Well, so far, barring price action here, as you can see, so price is really doing some bad price action. Not really liking how price is just moving back and forth. Seems like there is no high probability move here. A move that we could say, oh yeah, this only this scenario will happen. At this point, I can eventually frame a bearish and a bullish scenario. So that's why we stay out of this for now and just be disciplined with what you consider is a setup of yours, or yeah, not engage in the market because just because of a feeling or something like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me just mark the opposite here. So this bearish leg, we are right at premium of it, at equilibrium of it. We can eventually come a little bit above. Now I would like to see if we are in a somehow in a bearish um, moment. I would like to see those OT levels being respected and price not trying to climb higher, trying to retest all those levels. Yeah, so far, boring price action. There's nothing we can do with this, honestly. Yeah, so far we have some type of a high resistance move to the upside. It kind of respected our initial bias. My initial bias was what I was looking was some type of a accumulation during Asia, which is here. Then a manipulation lower on London, and eventually a distribution higher. But yeah, since 8:30, I mean 9:30, there's no opportunity to engage with anything since price is waking, as you can see here. I still believe that Friday's high will eventually be the main target for today's action. But yeah, this price action really isn't helping. Let's just see if price really wants to respect these OT levels. If so, we might have a change in the state of delivery here, and we shall eventually see lower prices. That's the plan B. The plan A is of course the higher scenario where Friday's high gets taken. But since price is really struggling to get out of this end walk, the plan B scenario would be a move lower, taking us down eventually to a midnight open or even previous week's low. But but for that to happen, I don't see any bearish reaction so far here at OT levels. So I presume that we will dig climb. I mean, climb a little bit more. Eventually retesting 62%, 70 or 79, or eventually come and make another high. If you look into NQ, it seems it won't stop. It will probably make another high. If you look into the 15-minute time frame, you can see that there's a wick, and yeah, NQ already suppressed the 50% of the wick, while ES is a bit weaker. It had not reached for 50% of that wick. So there's still some more sell side here, some more buy side, I mean. Yeah, boring price action, boring morning. It was not the best comeback here to the streams. Honestly, I was expecting some more action, but it is summer action. So summer action is always like this. It's always a bit nasty price action. So keep that in mind as well. We are entering 1050 macro. So let's see if this is just a manipulation taking out these lows and moving price to the upside a little bit more, or if we will assume something bearish here. So far, 62% of OT is being respected here. So this was a nice touch on the order block as well. Here, once again, there's a lot of liquidity here below. Also here. So I guess this is primed to go lower now. Since we are approaching 1050 as well. Let me just check these candle sizes here. Yeah, this is a two handle candle. Yeah, I really don't like how the 15-minute is presenting itself, honestly. So 1050 macro is in. But yeah, there's no, I don't see anything here, honestly. Your price is still stuck here in between 9:30 open and 8:30 open, so we might as well wait for something and wait if price wants to get above or below those levels. And Q looking good here, better than ES. But yeah, as you can see here, there's a lot of liquidity, as I was telling you, below 8:30 open. Yeah, there's nothing we can do here, honestly. So far, there's nothing that can be seen as a one-sided move. So NQ is holding the upside very well, better than ES. ES is still struggling here with the 9:30 open, but I presume that we will follow NQ as well. And yeah, price is right at the open. It hasn't moved. So another sign that we are in low probability markets whenever you are almost ending the New York morning session and price is still at 9:30 open, it means there's no movement at all. So nice reaction here. So it seems like these OT levels are being disrespected on AS. CS is trying to move away from 930. NQ already did new high. So, but I cannot trust in this run here because, as you can see, there's no major sell side taken here. Even the sell side here, the regular trading hours sell side point is not taken. So that's why I'm not sell yeah, sell side, yeah. Let me just check here. Yeah. Not even this one. Relative well, trading hours, sell side liquidity. Let me just check here. Yeah, we did not take this on a regular trading hour. So that's why I'm kind of not convinced. So yeah, this is the last macro of the morning session. So this was somehow once again a macro to macro move, but yeah, this move was not that great after all. I still believe there's some sell side points to be taken before moving higher. But yeah, our initial bias was correct, honestly. Yeah, as I was telling you guys, the initial bias was kind of correct. Here we have the age accumulation, the London manipulation, and then the distribution to the upside. And it will probably be over here at Friday's high. Um, but as you can see here, entries were not clean as we have a lot of zigzag here, a lot of back and forth. Looking into lower time frames, this is what you can see here. Entering in a market like this is somehow very hard, and yeah, you have to have a lot of mental capital available to trade something like this. A new high was formed here, and Q took a new high as well. So see how price is behaving here. It's just awkward. It's not giving us vibes that it really wants to stay here. And since it took out the high, I'm not able to engage with this long here. It could eventually work since we are inside a macro as well. Something like this until Friday's high. But yeah, I'm not willing to take that risk since it's not a good risk to reward ratio as well. If price would retrace a bit, maybe, since it has been retracing very deeply, if price eventually retraces to equilibrium and 930 is able to hold price, yeah, then it would offer us a good entry for buy side liquidity as Friday's high. Um, but yeah, otherwise I will probably not engage with anything because I'm at the premium in this type of range as well. There's no major sell side liquidity been taken. Um, yeah, it's kind of an annoying morning session, but yeah, it's always better when you do not lose money than to try and do something and end up losing money. Mm-hmm. So there it comes, the retrace. Let's see if OT levels to the upside just hold, or since we already took buy side liquidity and we still have a lot of sell side here down below, if we will visit those sell side points. It seems like price wants to hold here inside this fair value gap, and Q already moving to the upside as well. It did not came for 930 or equilibrium, at least until now. Yeah, nothing to work with here, honestly. NQ was delivering price a little bit better. Um, ES was kind of taking every high, taking out every high, taking out lows. Yeah, it was kind of a ugly morning, honestly. The bias was kind of um, correct since I was expecting bullish price action. But yeah, it's a high resistance, very high resistance move to the upside so far. So nothing clean here in terms of longing anything, and nothing clear for those who were trying to short as well. So the only thing that could eventually trigger some shorts would eventually be this move here after taking buy side liquidity. But yeah, if you were expecting higher moves, that was not the play. of this game, of this match. Yeah, but so far we had nothing to work with. I guess this is typical of the summer weeks and the summer month. So we are online now almost for 2 hours, I think. Yeah, we have 3 minutes left. So since nothing is happening as well, I guess I will end the stream here. Because that way I will not be enticed to get into something just to see my drawn liquidity being met, and yeah, and avoid some losses. Talking about losses, I still have to get out of this drawdown here, as you see. But yeah, that's not the job for today's price action. Honestly, not seeing any type of aggressive intention to do anything. Honestly, really would like to see price behaving in a much cleaner way than these deep retraces that price did until 10:30. The only thing that could eventually trigger a long here was somewhere here. But even if you had a order placed somewhere near 9:30, it would not be hit. So yeah. So it's 11:16, 11:15, right? So yeah, I think that's enough for today. I will be back tomorrow at the same time, 9:15. Yeah, in between 9:15 to 9:30, New York local time. For another stream. I will be streaming every day, every weekday. I mean, and yeah, if you're not following me right now, I invite you to do so. I guess we all can learn with each other, and I'm willing to learn from you guys as well. Um, so that's why I created this channel, and that's why I'm sharing my work with you, my everyday work, since I'm doing this full time right now. Um, but yeah, if you're not subscribed, just subscribe to the channel. If you have not talked to me, or if you have not asked me anything, um, yeah, just do it. You can do it on a chat section, and I will answer to your everyday question. So thank you guys. Thank you for being here. I still believe that we will go a little bit higher, but conditions are not the ones that I would like to see on price. So that's why I'm staying out of it. But yeah, our bias was on point. Um, it was not enough for us to engage with the market, but it is what it is. So tomorrow there will be more fish in the sea. So keep that in mind as well. So yeah, guys, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for interacting with me as well. And I hope to see you tomorrow, more or less the same hour. And yeah, thank you. Have a good, nice afternoon, and stay safe in these conditions. There's always yeah, there is always something suspicious happening, and tomorrow we will have CPI, so keep that in mind. Okay. Thank you very much. See you soon. See you tomorrow. Stay safe.